next week. Watch out for him. Number 7, Jermaine Wright. He returns after a midweek ban. Let's highlight a couple of players for you. Number 10, Danny Murphy, back here on loan from Liverpool in a second spell at the club, looking to get his career back on track. And he's alongside another key man in number 9, Rodney Jack, the club's record signing from Torquay in the summer. He's top scorer this term with 11, including spectacular strikes at Bolton and Barnsley. Saw one of them there. As for the visitors, right there in the hunt, of course, for promotion and full of players with Premiership experience. The likes of keeper Kevin Poole, number 2, Gary Rowett, number 3, Simon Charlton. Also, of course, number 11, Peter Unlove, 12 goals so far this season. Once scored a hat-trick at Anfield in his Coventry days. One more strike to equal his best scoring return. Lee Bradbury then in at 9. Strange couple of seasons for him. A revelation at Portsmouth. Less of a success at Manchester City, then enduring difficult times at Crystal Palace. And of course, he comes in. That's with former Crewe star Dele Adebola injured, as is Paul Furlong. That's it, Marcus. Back to you.
Thank you, Alan. Well, Birmingham have been the form side recently, and this is why. The Blues' impressive run of form began with a 7-1 demolition of Oxford at the Manor Ground. Martin Granger with the pick of the bunch. And the free-scoring Paul Furlong fired 2 against Bury as Birmingham began to hone in on the all-important second automatic promotion place. They took that place following victory over Port Vale in the next fixture. Furlong again on target. It was the first time the Blues had been in the top 2 since October. In a live 6-pointer at St Andrews, plucky Bradford were undone in injury time with a score at 1-1.
Hughes aiming to work the opening for Peter Unlove. Great control! He's gone down, it must be a penalty, and it is! Yes!
The Blues' unbeaten run ended at Edgeley Park. Brett Angel's strike handing Stockport the spoils. But they were soon back to winning ways. Francis had been rotating his strike force, and the recalled Dele Adebola struck twice against West Brom to prove a point. In their last outing, Birmingham grabbed a draw at Huddersfield. Michael Johnson gave them the lead, but the Terriers' Delroy Facey cancelled that out after the break. Transfer deadline week brought reinforcements. Lee Bradbury joined on loan from Crystal Palace, and David Holdsworth finally arrived from Sheffield United for a fee of £1.2 million. And here's confirmation of the Blues' remaining fixtures. Watford at home next, then Swindon away, Wolves at home, that's a big game, Queen's Park Rangers at St Andrews, then Bristol City away before those big games at the end of the season, Ipswich and Sunderland. Well, we can now hear from the Birmingham manager, Trevor Francis. He's talking to Alan.
Trevor, a couple of acquisitions on deadline day. It seems to me that you're gearing everything towards this final push.
Well, it's come about through the loss, first of all, of Gary Ablett. We didn't anticipate losing him, so I felt we needed another experienced defender. It took a while to find the right one, but I'm pleased to get David Holdsworth in, and he makes his debut today. And I felt that, trying to get Lee Bradbury on loan was the type of loan deal that I was looking for. I didn't anticipate him playing today, but Adebola's out injured. Furlong, surprisingly, has gone down with a knee injury, so he's not travelled. So it gives an opportunity for Lee Bradbury to start. Now, you're playing Crewe, odds-on favourites to win, or at least even money, but this is no pushover, is it? I've not found a pushover yet in the 3 years I've been here. I think that Crewe, having lost the last 2, I've got so much to play for. They need points for different reasons to ourselves. And I think that if you allow Crewe to play, I think they recognise one of the best passing teams in the league. It's up to us to try and, start right and to try and put a bit of pressure on the opposition. Thanks a lot, Trevor. Cheers. Thank you.
Well, Nigel, you know David Holdsworth well. Trevor had been tracking him for some time. How good a signing is he, do you think?
I think he's an excellent signing for Trevor at this stage of the season especially, but he's got good pace, David. He's a good talker at the back, and missing Gary Ablett, they needed an experienced defender in there, and David is a lot quicker than Gary. But, he can also talk at the back and organise people, so I think he's been an excellent signing for him.
Very briefly, is he of Premiership quality, do you think?
Well, he's not played there yet, but I think he could. I think he could be a shrewd signing. If they do go up, I'm sure that he can play in the Premiership.
At the other end of the field, Ray, Lee Bradbury, who's been on his travels in recent times, hasn't been as successful as many people thought, of course, when he first went to Manchester City.
No, it would be nice if Lee could actually settle down at one club and actually start performing, but it's very difficult when you keep having that upheaval. But he's done OK. He's done okay. He's got a big task today because they're missing 28 goals today in Adebola and Furlong, and Lee's only scored 5 in 22 appearances this season, so he's got a bit of a tough job on his hands. But I spoke to Stevie Coppell about him last week, and Steve said as far as work rate's concerned, he's been absolutely superb. He's worked the line very, very well, and he was hoping for some great things from it.
OK, well, after the break we will turn our attention to Crewe, who are fighting for survival and hoping that Rodney Jack can maintain his impressive form in front of goal.
But did you always grow up around boats and the sea and the like?
Yes, I've been growing up among the boats there, really. My father owns some boats, so I'm living in Kingston, the capital, and it's in the harbour, so... And then again, I can say I've been around many boats because on a Sunday, normally me and my father and the rest of the family goes out and have a fishing outing, so I guess I'm pretty much among the boats, really.
Sounds wonderful. Growing up, were you a cricketer or footballer?
Well, I was always a footballer at heart, really, but I used to follow the cricket. Viv Richards was my favourite cricketer, really, but now Brian Lara is my favourite. I fancy a bit of cricket, really, on the beach, just softball cricket. I was never into hardball because I think the ball was really a bit too hard for me. I was a bit of a wimp at the time, but, you know, cricket, I've been following cricket. I think everybody in the Caribbean, cricket is the #1 sport apart from football at home right now.
And then when you were growing up, who's this team FC Lambada that you played for? Tell us about them.
Well, it all started when I was in the Shell Caribbean Cup. I was spotted and I was asked to go over to Barbados, just 45 minutes away from St. Vincent, for a local professional, well, a semi-professional team. So I went over there, got a trial, and they said, okay, we could offer you a contract, played for them, and, you know, I got the opportunity to come to England, and it pretty much worked out, really.
And then Crewe came along. Did it take much persuading for you to come up here?
No, actually, when I heard about the Crewe thing for the first time, I was just coming back from holiday, really, from my hometown, and I heard about this thing, and everyone was telling me about Dario, you know, one of the longest-serving manager, and he's a pretty good manager, and, you know, he's all about football, and, you know, I got the invitation to come about and to look around, and, you know, what I saw, I did enjoy, and, you know, I just put the pen to paper, really. For Dario, he's been my inspiration, really. He's helping me a lot. He's doing wonders for me. He's trying to sit down with me after the games and telling me what's my weaknesses, what I should have done. And it's paying off, really. I started playing well for the past 6 games now, and, you know, it's coming together now.
So how would you sum up the season so far for both you and Crewe, Alexandra?
Well, I think the season for me, a lot of people think the season for us is a bit disappointing, really, because we are second from bottom. But for me, I think, you know, the football that we are playing, really, is top class, really, but unfortunately it doesn't pay it off. But there's some quality players in the team, and, you know, everyone is trying very hard. The coaching staff are being magnificent, Dario and the likes of others. The players are very wonderful. We have some very talented players, like the likes of Seth Johnson, who's going to go very far. You know, we have Danny coming back into the team to help us out, really. For me, the season is going quite well, but I would like to see us in the mid-table, but hopefully we'll get out of this, and then next season we could start, you know, building for a better future.
Well, he seems to be enjoying himself. And Nigel, Crewe does seem to be a natural home for natural footballers, doesn't it? It
is. It's been a great breeding ground for many players over the years, and Dario's done a wonderful job there. I just hope they stay up because of the football they play, but I think they're going to find it very tough. They do pass the ball well. Rodney Jack has now got used to the way the team plays. They've got used to his pace and the way he plays, and it's maybe come a little bit too late, but he's scored 6 in the last 10, 11 goals all season. It's a good return now, but they need him to carry on scoring goals until the end of the season to try and help them survive.
Rodney mentioned Seth Johnson during that interview. He's a player you've got a lot of time for.
Yeah, he's still only 20 years of age as well, Marcus. Already played 95 times for Crewe, 4 times for the under-21s, and the thing he's got, which every side wants, is a wonderful left foot. He's got a fabulous left foot, and as Rodney said, he's already turned down a £3 million offer from Derby County there. He's going to go a long, long way.
Left foots are really in shortage at the moment, aren't they?
Well, it's, if you look through any side that really is quite successful, is that they normally have a good balance to the team, and left footers do come, they're short in supply, but Seth has got a great left foot.
OK, well, Crewe will battle to the very end of that, there is no doubt. Here's a look at how they've fared in recent weeks. Crewe's dreadful mid-season run ended at QPR in December. Jermaine Wright with the only goal, but 18 matches without victory had left them rooted to the foot of the table. Things improved in the new year and the side showed real spirit at home to Norwich in January, coming from 2 down to win 3-2 thanks to Kevin Street's last-minute effort. 5 games without victory was then followed by arguably their best result of the season as they toppled promotion-chasing Bolton 3-1. Rodney Jack at his very best for the Railwaymen. A win at Swindon and a draw with Grimsby was then followed by a much-needed victory over fellow strugglers Oxford. Danny Murphy scored his first goal since returning on loan from Liverpool. And 9 points from a possible 12 saw Crewe move off bottom spot for the first time since early November. But that sort of form has deserted them recently. In the past week, Tranmere and Wolves have beaten them 3-0. Crewe got off to the worst possible start at Molineux when defender Chris Lightfoot was sent off for a second bookable offence after just 13 minutes. Wolves capitalised immediately. Carl Robinson, the man on target. They doubled their lead 10 minutes later, Havard Flo making the most of some poor defending. And Crewe's misery was complete 12 minutes from time when David Connolly was brought down by keeper Jason Kearton. Kevin Muscat stepped up to score from the spot. So Crewe need points and goals, and Dario Gradi has signed Mike Newell from Aberdeen with that in mind. But as we've heard, he's only on the bench today. There's a list of Crewe's remaining games. West Brom away is tough. Crucial match at home to Port Vale. Then Watford visit. Ipswich away will be tough. Bristol City and Portsmouth at home in successive games could go a long way towards deciding their fate before they travel to Huddersfield for a very tough assignment on the final Sunday. We can now hear from Dario Gradi in his 16th year at the club. He's talking to Alan.
Dario, after these 2 recent reverses, vital to get back to winning ways today.
Well, it's vital, crucial, you know, all these words that everybody uses except us. And all we talk about is we haven't played very well the last 2 games. We analyse individual performances, we analyse the team performances. We work on how we can do better. And we try to do better. So nothing's vital, nothing's crucial. It's just, it would be very nice for us if we can play to our ability, and that's what we've got to do today. We've got to play to our ability and maybe a little bit better.
What do you make of Birmingham City, Dario?
Well, he's got a lot of good players. Dealey's unfit and Furlong's unfit, so we find this fella Bradbury's playing instead. That's Birmingham City. You know, they've got a lot of good players, and they're a hard team. They'll be a hard team to beat. They're one of the favourites. It's one of the harder games for us. But if we want to stay in this league, we've got to play at this level.
Thanks a lot, Dario.
You're welcome.
Cheers. Thank you.
Well, they're second from bottom, but he's smiling. He says nothing's vital, nothing's crucial. Does that surprise you a little bit, Ray?
No, it doesn't. No, Dario, I worked under Dario when I was coming through as a youth team player at Chelsea, and that is his manner. He wants the players to go out and relax and enjoy themselves. If the results come, they come. And you can see he's been in the job there for 16 years, and he feels relaxed within himself. Probably feels he's doing a good job, and I think he's doing a good job as well. The people he's brought through have been fantastic. They sell players on, yet they still produce a team that can play football, and they'll keep on doing that as long as he's at the helm. But it doesn't surprise me looking like that, and I'm pleased he looks like that after 16 years. He is, you know, a lot of people call
like better than some. Yes,
that's when you've got the mask.
Yeah, quite. It's nice to see those 2 there today. But,
yes, they're big Crewe fans.
Yeah, that's right. But that's typical Dario. But the problem they've got is that they play at home today. They've got 4 of their remaining 7 at home, but they've already conceded 33 goals at home. They've only won 5 home games in their 18 home matches. So it's really been, you know, would they prefer to be playing away from home than at home? Because teams look as if they've gone there and given them a bit of a spanking.
Briefly, what's going to happen, Nigel?
I think I'm going to have to go for Birmingham. Although Adebola and Furlong are out, I still think they're going to be too strong for Crewe. I think they can play good football as well. I think Crewe can play lovely football, but they lack that little bit of strength, and that's why I'm going to go for Birmingham today.
And you're swaying towards the Blues as well, right?
I am listening to Trevor before he said if you allow Crewe to play, then they're very good. I don't think Birmingham will allow them to play.
I think it would be a good test, Rodney Jack against Holdsworth and Johnson, with the pace of those two against him. It's going to be a good test for them at the back.
Thank you, guys. More from you both at half-time. Let's now say a very good afternoon to our commentators, and a very happy Easter as well to Alan Brazil and Rob Hawthorne.
Thank you. Happy Easter. Will Crewe's famed conveyor belt of players be enough to make this a good Friday for them, though, and save them from relegation? Although pressure isn't as evident here as at some clubs, they do really need to win this and their other 4 remaining matches here if they are to stage a miraculous escape. Well, the former Birmingham striker, Mike Newell, will have to wait his chance to face his former club after a disappointing debut in the 3-0 defeat at Wolves on Tuesday, and accepting damages from Birmingham owner David Sullivan over comments made during his spell there. Newell is on the bench today. Instead, Rodney Jack and Danny Murphy are the players that Crewe hope will find their way through a sturdy Birmingham defence. Former Torquay man Jack is leading scorer at the moment with 11 goals. Murphy is back here on loan from Liverpool. Meanwhile, midfielder Jermaine Wright returns to the team after suspension.
Well, they've really given themselves a chance, haven't they now, Crewe? And it's almost a 4-2-4 Crewe this afternoon. Wright, Walton, Lightfoot, Smith. Watch for Rivers and Johnson. They're the ones who get wide, almost playing a line up with Jack and Murphy. Jermaine Wright in the midfield will shout with Charnock. Then up front, I like this combination. Murphy likes it into feet, whereas Rodney Jack, blistering pace. Birmingham have to be aware.
Birmingham give debuts to 2 pre-deadline signings. The presence of David Holdsworth, signed from Sheffield United, means that Gary Rowett can return to the right side of defence, while Lee Bradbury, on loan from Crystal Palace, comes in at a useful time. Former Crewe striker Dele Adebola is out with a hamstring injury, and Paul Furlong has a knee problem. Captain Martin O'Connor, who scored in Birmingham's 3-1 win over Crewe at St Andrews earlier this season, has overcome illness to play. Among the substitutes is 23-year-old Howard Forrington, number 14. He's just back from a successful loan period at Plymouth.
Well, if Birmingham are going to try and claim this number 2 spot, then surely this is a game they must win. 4-4-2, Pool and goal, Rowett, Holdsworth on his debut, Johnson and Charlton. 4 across the middle, strong looking 4. McCarthy wide on the right, Hughes a corner, the central midfield players, Granger on the left-hand side. Up front again, blistering pace from Enlove. He'll be looking for the ball in behind the Crewe centre backs, and Bradbury 100% are good on the far stick. Tough game here for Crewe.
Well, they're averaging crowds of almost 5,200 this season here in league matches, and the stadium development continues. They're in the process of building a new stand that will also encompass training facilities that are part of Crewe's grand plans for their academy, and will also be a community facility too. And it is the development of players that really has been at the forefront of Crewe's priorities during Dario Gradi's tenure here. Results important as well. These players, the current role models for the youngsters who are now coming through the ranks. Seth Johnson, a particular success of the youth policy. But thoughts focused today on their continuing bid to escape relegation from the First Division. Birmingham pressing at the top end. Join us for the whole match, Crewe against Birmingham, after the break.
Back to Alan Brazil and Rob Hawthorne.
Dave Pugh from the Wirral is the man in charge today. And Birmingham City in blue get the game underway. A victory for them will take them up to 3rd place in the table, their highest position since January. But a victory for Crewe would actually take them out of the bottom 3, and that would be for the first time since October, after such a long spell when they were anchored to the very foot of the First Division. Rodney Jack given away to Simon Charlton, whose ball puts Walton under a little bit of pressure, with Undlove starting in a wide position.
I think Dario Gradi, Rob, will be just looking for a good start here, not letting Birmingham settle into the stride. But his side have now got a chance to beat the drop, when a few weeks ago they looked certainties.
And it's interesting how he takes such a philosophical view of things and looks at performances rather than results. At a big city club like Birmingham, results are very much the be-all and end-all. There's a great expectation that the club should be in the top division. They've never been in the Premiership since its inception, and already this looks like being the closest that they've gone to achieving that. Can they go all the way? Here's Seth Johnson. to Sean Smith, the man whose goal at Wembley earned Crewe their place in this division. Michael Johnson, Granger. Lee Bradbury finds Martin O'Connor, who's taken over the captain's armband since the departure of Chris Marsden and the loss through injury of Gary Ablett, a big loss too. Here's Danny Murphy. Mark Rivers will be expected to come in from that wide position on the right. McCarthy, now Undlove. Gary Rowett. Undlove trying to line up the first effort of the game. An early touch for Jason Kearton. Birmingham came here twice in a 6.5-week spell last season. They won both their matches, beat Crewe 2-1 in the FA Cup, Paul Furlong scoring both, and they won the league match here 2-0. Dele Adebola scoring on his full debut against his old club. Brian Hughes, Birmingham's other scorer that day, is in the midfield for them this evening. There's O'Connor, now Bradbury. Peter Undlove, good work from him, he's already looking lively.
Pace on both sides, Undlove for Birmingham. At the other end, Rodney Jack also blistering pace. I just think Birmingham's problem is this fella, he's going to keep dropping off, looking for the ball into feet.
Here's Charlton. O'Connor. Hughes. Gary Rowett. Undlove. Here's Mark Rivers. Showing good determination now. Can he shrug off Simon Charlton? Jack and Murphy both waiting in the area.
What a shame. Lovely little move there from Rivers, using his pace against Charlton, but the final ball let them down. Jack was in at the far post. This is good positive play. Certainly he's got the legs on the full back. Just a little bit wobbly the pitch in places, and a poor finish.
Mark Rivers, one of the players to come through the famed academy, and he is actually a local boy, born in Crewe. McCarthy. Challenge was from the backtracking Seth Johnson on John McCarthy.
He's taking a bit of a knock there as well. McCarthy absolutely flattened Johnson just a few moments ago. This time the youngster getting his own back.
McCarthy, one of those players who, despite being a Trevor Francis signing, isn't exactly guaranteed a first-team place now. Has been restored to the side because Graham Hyde is currently under suspension, serving the second of a 2-match ban. Granger beating David Wright to the ball, and this is Lee Bradbury. And Bradbury showing great strength, attempting there to get past Chris Lightfoot. Good perseverance there from Bradbury.
Lightfoot was on the ground, he was just leaning across the ball there, stopping Bradbury. Just might look like an opening for Birmingham.
Lightfoot will be a little wary after midweek events when he was red carded after just 13 minutes of the match at Wolves. Crewe's second sending off of the season, the other one was Seth Johnson. We saw that live on Sky at Sheffield United. O'Connor. Gary Rowett. Johnson there, stumble at an unfortunate time. Good work from Undlove.
Good strike on target, Kearton right behind the ball, but Rowett, who I think's been an excellent buy for Birmingham. Just a little link play, Undlove on his left foot, drills it low, good stop. Gets power, but not direction.
Here's McCarthy. Looking particularly strong down that right-hand side. Here's Undlove again.
It's a good start from Birmingham, isn't it? There's claims a handball there. Undlove's thought he'd got himself a corner. But Birmingham at the moment, the game's been played in the Crewe half. Shouts the handball went up. And you can clearly see that's why Unlove thought it was a corner kick.
Birmingham came here with a determination not to let Crewe settle into their rhythm and their regular style of football, and it is the visitors who've seized the initiative. This is O'Connor lining one up. Again, Kearton forced to block a Birmingham effort.
Birmingham a little bit slow to close that. Sorry, Crewe a little bit slow to close down the corner there. Again, straight at the keeper.
Holdsworth left it to Johnson, a little bit of a misunderstanding there.
I think, to be fair, I think Johnson gave him a shout there, that's why he left it.
While the Crewe have been in action this week, it's 13 days since Birmingham's last match, the 1-1 draw at Huddersfield. They're on a 7-match unbeaten run at the moment, Trevor Francis's side. And only Sunderland in this division have a longer unbeaten sequence currently.
I just feel if Crewe can get something today, you know, very shortly they've got 3 home games coming up, Port Vale, Watford, Bristol City, and that would give them a great chance. But Birmingham can't afford to lose any more ground. Trevor knows that. Ipswich lying handy, Bradford are there, can Bolton come with a run?
Birmingham have 4 home games left after this. They've got Watford, Wolves, Queen's Park Rangers and Ipswich to come at St Andrews, and visits to Swindon, Bristol City, and a last day match at Sunderland.
It's a nice time to be playing Sunderland as well.
Here's Murphy. Jack. Rivers was ready and willing to take over. Jack looking to find a way through.
Yeah, a little gap opened up, but Poole again had a good sight of it, right behind Rodney Jack's strike. It's a long way out, no problems for Kevin Poole. Jack with the right foot, drive and going for power, and an easy stop.
Kearton has managed to save the corner.
Type of pitch today, Rob, where there's been a bit of sunny, it's a bit dusty, a bit bobbly and bumpy. It's not ideal for Crewe's passing game.
Here's Johnson. O'Connor. Well, won by Johnson. This is Jermaine Wright. Charnock just delayed it, allowed McCarthy to get there, and McCarthy gets there a second time.
I've seen John McCarthy get stuck in so much.
And Rodney Jack this time has managed to pull through.
He really does fancy his chances, doesn't he, when he gets them legs going. Poole very sharp out his box. Just too much.
Jack has been the one striker in the Crewe ranks who's consistently demonstrated the ability to cut through defences this season. They had originally envisaged a different role for him when he came here from Torquay in a wider right position. But his form and the trouble that he's caused defences has meant that they've left him in that central striking role.
Yeah, looks as if Michael Johnson's going to mark Danny Murphy. Holdsworth's the free player, him and Rowett are dealing with Jack.
Howard just gets there ahead of Rodney Jack this time. Poole coming under pressure from Murphy. Here's David Wright.
Holdsworth steps up and suddenly realises, has the referee, has he given it? Look at Holdsworth chasing back, but well offside.
Crewe have been beaten 9 times here in the league this season, which is actually 2 fewer defeats than they suffered here last year, and they still managed to finish comfortably in the first division in mid-table. Very often the second year after promotion is the most difficult. Jack bearing down on Johnson. Here's Phil Charnock to right. Sean Smith.
Good work again from Unlove. He does work the line very good.
Rowett, Unlove. David Holdsworth, who's twice played for Sheffield United in victories against Crewe this season.
Trevor's got a fairly strong squad now. Two Birmingham players down the far side. McCarthy, Hughes also down. Just took, no, I think it was Johnson. You see the stud marks on the inside of his thigh. I think it was Seth Johnson with the challenge. Just catching him down the inside of the thigh.
McCarthy clearly wants further action taken about it. It was a pretty angry exchange with the referee. Gary Rowett with a free kick. Headed downwards by Johnson, cleared by Charnock. Right foot gets it clear. Holdsworth, here's Charlton. Keen to get on with things quickly.
There's good battling qualities there from Rodney Jack. Excellent.
David Wright. Jermaine Wright. Murphy, beautifully placed ball through to Rivers.
He's a little bit unlucky, Rivers, there. He does the right thing. It's a lovely little slip ball from Murphy. But to be fair to Rivers, he does have a look and see where Jack is. Deciding now, OK, I've got the best chance. I'm well off target. Nice little ball from Murphy. The little look from Rivers and the blast well wide. Jack was in a central position, but Rivers decided, no, I'll go for goal myself. Well off target.
The last time that Crewe did manage a league victory against Birmingham, Mark Rivers was the man who got the goal. It was actually back at St Andrews in October '97. Charnock did well to hold on to that against the tenacity of O'Connor. And here's David Wright, of whom many good things have been heard this season. Murphy. Holdsworth just shielding it from Jack. Granger. Walton. Bradbury. Right foot. Resisting the pressure of Bradbury well and finding Danny Murphy. Here's Seth Johnson. Jack and Rivers up ahead of him, and he's got it through, and Rivers is onside, and he's hit the post. Can Smith follow up? Blocked by Holdsworth. Can Murphy follow up? Great second challenge from David Holdsworth, but Rivers there had the gilt-edged opportunity.
Again, he looks to the heavens. He's unlucky, Rob. Beautiful build-up. This is Crewe at the best. Passing game, just slips in behind Holdsworth, steadies himself, composure, and that's unlucky. Off the inside of the left-hand upright, and then Holdsworth again to the rescue.
Well, Birmingham may have had the better of the opening, but Crewe have certainly started to pick it up. They're crafting their moves well. Just unable to find the polished finish at the moment.
You see these Crewe players, Rob, they're encouraged to be comfortable on the ball, aren't they? The big centre-half doing well there, Walton, just stroking it about. Nice passing.
Well, they'd had a very good run until their recent 3-0 defeats at Tranmere and Wolves, but rather talk about positions and their plight and pressure. Dario Gradi has been more bothered about the fact that they haven't performed in those games. They're starting to pick up the threads of that performance in this fixture. Foul on Rivers, Crewe free kick.
He's got to say he's unlucky. It's a lovely threaded ball, composes himself, has a look with the right foot. That's unlucky.
Well, it was the right foot of Rivers that delivered the effort, but it was that quality left foot of Seth Johnson that set it up for him. David Wright. Here's Murphy. Jermaine Wright. Cleared by Holdsworth.
Certainly Holdsworth's been in there, hasn't he, clearing off a few times. This time Wright pushing his way into the box, pushing forward.
Wright. This is Phil Charnock. A nonsense challenge from Granger.
Crewe beginning to find the passing, and the possession stats show you getting more involved in the game now. It's a good start from Birmingham, but now Crewe showing us the football.
Here's Undlove. McCarthy moving up on the outside of him. Hughes and Bradbury driving through the middle. McCarthy looking for Hughes, but look who's tracking back there. It's Danny Murphy. Granger. O'Connor. Granger. Interception was by Lightfoot. Now can Jack get away from Johnson? Michael Johnson's quick. It's Charlton.
I don't think Holdsworth is no slouch either. They have got a little bit of pace back there, Birmingham. But this fella, I think, is a quality player.
When Gary Rowett was bought from Derby, it looked like being the final piece of Birmingham's squad jigsaw. Bradbury here has won it from Smith. McCarthy with Undlove driving into the box. He's gone down, but the referee well placed to see it.
He's having a good look at the referee, isn't he? McCarthy puts in a great ball here. Let's have a look. Undlove getting into the 6-yard box. Wow, I think it's a good decision from the referee. No penalty.
Bradbury. Here's Johnson. Good ball to Jack. Murphy. Trying to make room for Rivers, but it was read well by Simon Charlton. Missing around there from Chris Lightfoot.
That's a great tackle, isn't it? You know, because if you miss that, he's grounded, he's stranded. Great tackle. Just seen the ball and thought, right, the timing was perfect. Just as well, Rob, he was the last man.
Walton has missed his kick, but between them, he and Curtin have managed to deal with Bradbury's threat.
Yeah, and perseverance from Bradbury, that's one thing he will do. Walton just hesitating slightly, and Bradbury's unlucky.
Granger. Undlove. Hughes to O'Connor. Throw in given.
Granger felt we kept it in. Clearly Birmingham have been rattled. That River shot off the post.
Smith. 3-1 in the match at St Andrews back in October. They scored as early as the 8th minute then through Peter Undlove. At that stage Birmingham were second from top and Crewe second from bottom. Hasn't been too much change around in the position since. And Birmingham still hopeful of getting that second automatic promotion slot behind Sunderland, whose promotion is generally regarded as a formality now. This is Lee Bradbury. Hughes. Charlton.
Yeah, good tracking back from Rivers. First time we've really seen Charlton get forward.
Rivers' clearance lands kindly for Hughes. This is O'Connor. Granger. 3 in the box. Bradbury's one of them, but Lightfoot is there. Cleared by Johnson. Rowett brings the throw off Seth Johnson. Really underlined their ambitions for promotion, because although Gary Rowett earlier in the season was viewed as the final piece of the jigsaw, they've filled in where necessary since. They've picked up Graham Hyde, a player that Trevor Francis knew well because he was available on a free transfer. They've invested in Simon Marsh of Oxford for the future, and with injuries to the likes of Ablett and Furlong and Adebola, they've now brought in Holsworth and Bradbury ahead of the deadline, and they found Bradbury with this ball. McCarthy, blocked by Smith. O'Connor.
It's a good spell from Birmingham.
Rowett has managed to slip it through, and John McCarthy. Bradbury. Well, the flag was up.
I just thought for 1 minute there he was given a penalty, because it looked to be just maybe the slightest of trips on McCarthy. Great ball inside the fullback. As McCarthy gets us a little trip there. The referee, I think it's an offside decision Robbie's given. Beautiful ball again, Rowett in the build-up. McCarthy just gets a touch here first. Is he caught? Wow, it's the slightest touch, isn't it?
Walton's challenge for that ball with Bradbury left the defender grounded. He's complaining about an earlier infringement to Dave Pugh. Although Crewe are seen as a club for developing players, the signing of Dave Walton from Shrewsbury for a club record £700,000 and the investment in Rodney Jack too shows that it means quite a lot to them to stay in this division.
I think there's quite a lot of neutrals would like Crewe to stay in, Rob, just simply because the way they play the football. Comfortable on the ball, good passing team. Rob, if Crewe can get the ball in behind Charlton, I think Rivers certainly has the beating in terms of pace.
Here's Bradbury. Undlove has made a dart into the box, so too has McCarthy, and McCarthy was completely unmarked.
Well, Bradbury looked up as well, and as he looked back at the ball, I think it's his right foot just nudges the ball forward. He's unlucky, he gets in a good position, watch him have a look. He's just, it's touch. Just clips his right foot first.
Well, it's been a strange old season for Lee Bradbury, who started the campaign at Manchester City, linked up with his old manager Terry Venables at Crystal Palace, and then found himself the victim of the cost-cutting there. At one stage it looked as though he might have been heading for Norwich, but Birmingham were quite keen on him all along, and the loan deal to the end of the season works well for both parties.
It's a great bit of business, especially when you lose your 2 main strikers.
Here's David Wright. O'Connor sliding in ahead of Danny Murphy. Charlton having to deal with the threat of Murphy now. Wright to Jermaine Wright. Nice layer from Rivers to Charnock, and he's hit the post. Crewe hit the woodwork for the second time.
Well, again, this is great passing, isn't it? Lovely little ball in the right. Rivers with a layoff. Charnock drives. Poole just can't get there. Unfortunate for Kevin Poole, coming off his left hand upright and away to safety again. Beautiful passing movement. Charnock kept it low. It's not great power on the ball, but Poole couldn't get there. Very, very unlucky yet again, Crewe.
2 goals this season for Phil Charnock, both of them in the league. He's actually scored here since September, but Mark Rivers, who'd hit the post before, turned provider that time for Charnock with a layoff. Sean Smith to take the throw. And here's Bradbury.
And the centre-half stepped up, and it was young David Wright that played Bradbury on.
Backing in, rather Johnson fouling Unlove from behind.
Just feel this first goal, if we're going to get one, Rob, is so important. If Birmingham get it, I see them go on and winning comfortable. If Crewe can.
McCarthy whips it in, and Walton is underneath it. McCarthy with a follow-up. Headed backwards by Hughes. Walton staying strong against Peter Unlove. Bradbury. Johnson put under pressure by Hughes, and Kearton's save took it away from Unlove, who was waiting to pounce. Granger gets it back in, and Jermaine Wright gets it away.
I'll have to say, Rob, Brian Hughes, if he scores, fine, it's a smashing goal, but I thought Peter Unlove was in a great position. We'll see in a moment.
McCarthy showing too much of it to Smith, who's won the throw.
Smith, you know, Hughes just gets himself in the box, robs Johnson, but look at Unlove, surely it's a little cut back. Good stop from the keeper again. Going for pure power, Hughes, right foot, blasts it, and Unlove almost on the rebound.
Johnson. Jermaine Wright. Holsworth. Rowett. Looking for Unlove. Walton just steadying things. Helped on nicely by Jermaine Wright to Charnock, and this is Murphy. Crewe quickly getting into their stride. Johnson, though, cuts it out.
I think Rivers was trying to get in there alongside Jack, Rob, and he dragged a couple of defenders into the space where Murphy was trying to put the ball in behind. It might have been better if he had stayed out wide.
Johnson. Murphy. This is Jack. Danny Murphy, well, Jack had already pulled up.
Holsworth was tugging away at Jack. But the one thing about this Jack-Murphy combination, as soon as Murphy gets it, he knows that Jack's on his bite. He's using his pace. But Holsworth just holding him off here. Jack can't get away from him. The right hand across, grabbing his shirt. Fair way out, surely a strike's not in his mind. Sean Smith.
Sean Smith has scored some pretty good goals from distance in his time, especially from free kicks. But he does have the option of light foot forward for this Swan. Tried to place it in towards him. Johnson gets it clear. Bradbury helps it away, still third. David Wright. Johnson's header. Here's Murphy. Jermaine Wright. Holsworth. Here's Charnock to Jack.
doubles up. It's good play.
It's very even at the moment between the side at the top end of the table and the side at the bottom end. Granger.
There's a great run from O'Connor there, but again Bradbury dragged the big centre-half over, took the space. Been better staying far post and let Granger run into space. Good cover though from Walton.
Lightfoot. Sharp. Murphy. Jack. Good turn to set Rivers away. Johnson comes across, but Rivers has got inside him.
Yeah, he didn't know where to go back on his right foot. In the end, sort of snatched at the shot. It's good play though from Jack. Lovely ball. Rivers again's got beyond Charlton. Just thinking about coming back on the right. Tries it with a left foot, and that's well wide into the Birmingham fans behind the goal. Good play though. This fella does look a threat. It's just a finish.
Well, Crewe have every reason to be encouraged by the number of opportunities they forged in this half.
I think it's a very tight game though, Rob, isn't it? Birmingham on the break with Unlove's pace, with the midfield runs, McCarthy on the right. Crewe just might rue those missed chances early on.
McCarthy, and Rowett this time has broken free.
Well, he's gone for the strike, hasn't he, Rob? And maybe again he's picked the wrong option. Bradbury and Hughes were in the box. It's a great run, beautiful ball, but look at the options he's got. Surely drive it across the goal. It's a tight angle, Gary Rowett, great, just go for the far post. Holds his head. Great chance for Birmingham City. And Gareth Rowett, well, he knows he should have done better.
Well, he's been very solid in his defensive role since his move from Derby. The goals he scored have been a bonus.
There's nothing in as well. I was just going to say there's nothing in this match. Possession even. Good game though, good football been played.
Francis trying to match Crewe at what they're best at. Sean Smith. And Rivers pulls it across, but Rowett, the man there for Birmingham.
Yes, Rivers is sneaking in there.
Smith. Well, a full feast of football coming up for you over Easter. Tonight at 7 o'clock from the Premiership, it's Aston Villa against West Ham on Sky Sports 1. Coverage then of St Johnstone against Rangers in the Scottish Premier League, Sky Sports 1 Sunday at 5:30. And our next Nationwide League action after this comes up on Monday at noon. It's Grimsby against Norwich on Sky Sports 2. That one incidentally a 12:15 kickoff at Blundell Park.
They're just quite content at the moment. Bit of patience. One goal will do them today.
Here's a win that they need to lift themselves above Bradford. A draw won't be enough. Jermaine Wright. Mark Rivers has been in a big danger. But only endangering his own safety as he went towards that hoarding.
Yeah, I just feel Simon Charlton's having a hard job keeping a hold of him here. Daddy will be thinking, two hit the post. And that could be the difference between staying in Division 1 and find yourself as favourites in Division 2.
Well, some crunch matches still to come for them here at Gresty Road, including the visits of rivals in distress, Port Vale, their local rivals, and Bristol City. Jack.
I don't know what Brian Hughes was thinking about there, Rob.
Here's Murphy.
felt that was a wasted cross, Rob. They had options again, Birmingham in the box.
Granger delivers something better. Walton there again. David White gets it away haphazardly and Hughes hits it, blocked by Jermaine Wright. McCarthy waiting for the run of Rowett, which comes now. And Gary Rowett delivers off the head of Walton. Undlove will challenge.
It's good play there from McCarthy. Just encouraging Rowett to go on the overlap. Go on then, he's saying. On the right foot, getting his cross in again. It's big Walton heading in the air, and Cairton takes comfortably.
Charlton. Jermaine Wright. Jack. Seth Johnson. Charnock. Jack. Jermaine Wright, blocked by Johnson, and it's fallen for Rivers, who's onside. Jermaine Wright.
Well, again, it's a chance for Crewe. Rivers touched just the ball. He took the ball away from goal. Wright driving the strike in earlier, and a good block from Michael Johnson. Just getting to the ball quick, but this is a chance. If the first touch is good, he's clean through. Unfortunately, it takes him away from the goal. He doesn't panic, lays it back, and Birmingham escaped.
Well, he's got into some very good positions in this first half as Mark Rivers. They'll just be a little worried at the ratio at the moment of the number of chances that they've had and the fact that they've, as yet, failed to score. Undlove. Granger. Header backwards by Smith, and Cairton does well to save the corner.
A good play from Smith, because McCarthy came from way over on the right wing, running through the middle. It's a good ball from Granger. The full-back doing his job well. There's a little head injury there. I'm sure the ref knows. I think it's Rivers who's down.
Crewe effectively playing with 10 men, and Dave Pugh indicating that because it is a head injury, it needs immediate treatment.
Yeah, it's good refereeing. He had no option. Just kept having a look. Now, as the play was going on, kept looking at Rivers. Rivers stayed down. He had to stop the game. I don't think it's too serious. Just a high looking ball. Michael Johnson come across. It's his left elbow that Rivers really heads.
And the cheering that you can hear around Gresty Road is at the site of Mike Newell, formerly of Birmingham, warming up and getting the full treatment from the Birmingham fans behind Kevin Poole's goal.
Oh dear. Mr. Popular.
I'm sure there's nothing more he'd love than to come on and be the man who settles the issue. But the Crewe fans giving him their moral support. In the meantime, the call for Newell may well not happen immediately, because Rivers is okay to carry on again. Granger, in a fashion, gives the ball back to Crewe.
Rivers, well, he's certainly been involved in this first half, hasn't he? He's feeling his head at the moment, a bit sore. Could have been all so different.
Well, there's some sudden marked hostility in the atmosphere here at Gresty Road.
Incredible, wasn't it? Because I was enjoying this even, well-balanced game. Suddenly now, the Birmingham fans are really venting their anger at this man.
Jermaine Wright will be under pressure here from O'Connor. It escapes from him. Charnock, now Johnson. Oh, well left by Jack, and it's Sean Smith who's in here. Murphy and Rivers going into the box. Smith very ambitious.
Well, he's tried to drill it with a bit of pace on it, hasn't he? Whereas Danny Murphy was coming across him saying, feet, give it to feet. See, you can see Murphy in space there saying, come on, just give me it. But he's gone for Rivers with the pace on the ball. Perhaps to be fair, to maybe a little bobble just as he hit it.
They've Had great service out of Sean Smith of Crewe. Came on a free transfer from Emily some 7 years ago. Now the longest serving player currently in the first team. And there's Phil Charnock.
Interesting to see Rodney Jack's run there. He's just gone flying. It's very interesting to hear him talking about Danny Agradi, how he's trying to teach him his runs, conserve his energy, just learning him the game a little bit, because there's no doubt this fella, I think he's great with youngsters coming through. Knows his football, dedicated. I'm sure it'll help Jack a lot in his career. Certainly venturing forward more, just game goes on.
Charnock, Rivers. Murphy playing it against Hughes, and it breaks for Rodney Jack.
No talking, he just needs a little shout, man on.
Granger. There's O'Connor.
It looks a push to me there, the Crewe fans are furious. Holsworth had a very steady debut. Excellent.
Charnock. Rivers. This is O'Connor. Bradbury. Johnson guides it through to Rodney Jack. Great work from him, and Rivers gets through, and the referee had blown, and there might have been a good advantage to be played.
I hope, I don't think, for me this is not a booking, I have to see it again, but I just feel that Holsworth held his ground. I thought Jack sort of almost runs into him. It's good skill. I don't think Holsworth does too much there to receive a yellow. That's crazy.
Holsworth having an immediate impact in a Birmingham shirt in collecting his 7th yellow card of the season. This could be Sean Smith range, although he's looking for a head of Lightfoot. Johnson's there. Here's David Wright. Jermaine Wright. 2 minutes of stoppage time to be added on in the first half. Rowett. Bradbury. Back comes Johnson. David Wright gets it away to Rivers. Foul by Charlton this time, and quick thinking by Rivers. Here's Murphy. Everything is to his right.
You know, Jack made the run again there, and he brought the defender back into Rivers' space.
Well, Birmingham furious about that one. It was Sean Smith who blocked off John McCarthy.
McCarthy's gone down in a heap. He could be in big trouble here, Smith. Thinks he can just nick it. You see, he catches him. I'm certain it's the fall. Watch McCarthy fall here. This is bad. That could have been very, very nasty. Let's hope he's okay. Fully committed, Smith, just late, but look at the way he falls on his neck. Let's hope he's all right.
Well, it was a nasty fall, and there's clearly blood coming from the nose of John McCarthy. Sean Smith, in such a short space of time, has become the second player to be cautioned. Concern for Trevor Francis with John McCarthy getting treatment. The Crewe's team actually does have a real risk of suspensions over it. There are 4 players, and Smith obviously wasn't one of them, who are 1 booking away from a suspension, and at this stage of the season that's of real concern for Dario Gradi. Dave Walton, Phil Charnock, Mark Rivers and Danny Murphy, all 1 booking away from being suspended. Well, John McCarthy may have a bloodied nose, but this close to half-time, he'll carry on.
Just told, take the ball back 5 yards. Now Trevor's going to board with the linesman.
Well, they're being very meticulous over the placing of the free kick. By David Wright. And there goes the half-time whistle with no score, but a good, evenly balanced game, and Crewe really going the closest to opening the scoring, twice hitting the post. First through Mark Rivers, one of 3 opportunities he's had, and the other set up by Rivers for Phil Charnock. Rivers has got himself into some good positions, and this was good football in the build-up. Seth Johnson laying it through for Mark Rivers, back off the woodwork. And watch the layoff here from Rivers. Charnock dragging it beyond the grasp of Kevin Poole, but again off the post. So Birmingham with some concerns in the first half. Crewe look fairly positive about it. At half-time, it's 0-0 at Gresty Road.
At half-time, they've been having plenty of entertainment, I can tell you, during the interval. We can't show some of it to you. No more about that. But Ray, point that Alan made during the first half, he said a lot of neutrals would like to see Crewe stay up, and I would go along with that. Would you like to see Crewe up, bearing in mind that the sort of football they play week in, week out?
Yeah, I enjoy watching Crewe play. They move the ball very quickly. It's all 1 and 2 touch. They're prepared to play out from the back as well. I would love to see them stay up if they possibly can.
You're a fan of the Crewe method, aren't you, Nigel?
Very much so. I think you can see that over the years, what a great job Dario's done there, and this is a good team as well. But because of the size of the ground and the crowds they get, really they have to sell, and they're a selling club. And the next one, most probably to go, will be Seth Johnson to a Premier League club. But that's just the way football is, unfortunately. But they play good football, and let's hope they can stay up. But you know, they've got to fight all the way.
OK, well, neither side has made any changes at half-time. Let's rejoin our match commentators, Alan Brazil and Rob Hawthorne.
Well, it was 1991 when Crewe were last relegated. That was to the old 4th division. And over the following 6 years, they were never out of the top 6, whichever division they played in. They were promoted twice, and that was despite the sales of, amongst others, the likes of Rob Jones and Craig Hignett, Ashley Ward, Neil Lennon, Robbie Savage. And last year alone, they lost the likes of Dele Adebola, Ashley Westwood and Gareth Wally, which confirms their reputation as a selling club. And they do, of course, have this informal alliance with Liverpool. Danny Murphy, number 10, back on loan from there. Phil Charnock having arrived from Anfield. And it looks as though Seth Johnson may be going to train at Liverpool at some point soon, as he gets this one across to David Wright. And as Wright looked to line it up, Charlton came across the block.
I think he controls this with his right, Rob, and tries to fire it from his left, and the ball gets between his legs, and he doesn't make hardly any contact at all. To be fair, it's a good challenge there. Granger getting back, sliding in, along with Charlton. Good start from Crewe.
David Wright is only 18 years of age, but his form since he came into the team has kept Marcus Bignett on the sidelines. He's retained his place on merit, having profited initially from Bignett's injury. First corner of the game, first minute of the second half, Smith takes it. Kevin Poole had to come between Walton and Johnson to get that one away. Seth Johnson gets it forward and Walton couldn't bring it under control.
A little half chance there. Walton had just got a touch on that. This is the one thing that worries me a little bit about Crewe, Rob. They do get bodies in the box, they go and support. When there's a threatening move, they pile in there, and sometimes I think they get a little bit short at the back. And that Birmingham, especially in Unlove, could certainly take advantage of it.
Here's Granger. O'Connor. Rowett. Undlove. Johnson gets it away. Granger. Cleared by Smith. O'Connor. Rowett. Here's Murphy. Michael Johnson. Granger.
Similar to the first half, Rob. Birmingham just settling in nicely, knocking the ball about, just looking to probe in behind, down the channels. Trevor will be quite happy with this start.
Bradbury. Wilton gets it clear. Granger. Bradbury dragged down.
Big Walton looks at the referee in amazement, but I think it's well, I thought it was a free kick. You can see Wright and Walton tussling there, and this is a dangerous situation.
Well, Martin Granger's pretty useful. Gary Rowett, Martin O'Connor in attendance too. Simon Charlton joining in with his advice.
I think the ref's just saying, okay, just take your time, let me mark out the 10 yards, I'll get them back for you. Don't be taking any quick free kicks. I tell you what, that is some 10 yards, isn't it?
Rowett, good strike, and brilliantly held.
Yeah, what a clutch. What a clutch. Rowett was always for me going to take this. He was the one who spotted the ball. Really, Kearton flying across his goal, diving to his left, and he keeps a hold of the ball. Good stop. Rowett just going for that far post, trying to ease it in there. And Kearton had a good save.
Had their problems at the back this year of Crewe. They've
what a header that
continuously. Walton doing well.
What a header that was. Because Granger was, he was dreaming of opening the scoring there. Brilliant. Granger he's piling into the box there, just any touch at all. Brave header from Walton.
Here's Walton. Rowett. Bradbury. Jermaine Wright. Rivers flick on to Murphy. Well won by Murphy for Rivers. Murphy's continued his run through the centre.
Great stuff from Johnson. Rivers looked to be getting beyond them there, but Johnson stuck his task well.
Bradbury. O'Connor. Walton there first ahead of Peter Undlove. Throw.
Just got the feeling here, Rob, that Birmingham are going to sneak one. And when you're down there fighting for your lives, you've hit the post twice. Rivers, good chance as well. I just feel that Undlove, particularly up front, can just get in behind Crewe.
No real pressure on Kearton. McCarthy's flick. Just reach Undlove. He's past Lightfoot.
Linesman on the far side with the flag up. And you see McCarthy with a little flick. Up goes the linesman's flag. Good decision.
Well, Birmingham have been beaten just once in their last 16 league matches. That was their defeat at Stockport. Only let in 2 goals in their last 7 outings, whereas Crewe have the worst defensive record in the 4 divisions of the English League and the Scottish League too. 74 goals they've let in league games so far this season. Murphy. Jack. Rowett keeping his concentration against the trickery of Rodney Jack. It's Sean Smith with the throw. To the Crewe captain. Cleared by Holdsworth. Now McCarthy. Undlove and O'Connor moving to McCarthy's left along with Granger. He's opted instead for Bradbury. Undlove gets a second bite. Cleared by Lightfoot.
Once again, Granger was coming in right in behind Undlove there. He's taking a few gambles now, Martin Granger.
Here's Murphy. Holdsworth just hesitated for a moment, but reached out and got just enough on it to take it away from Rivers. Charnock. Smith.
Once again, no talking. It's incredible how many times you see that.
Seth Johnson. Right. Jack. Smith. Header away by Johnson. Foul by John McCarthy on Danny Murphy.
He's in trouble as well, Rob, isn't he? Murphy's gone down, referee coming over. This could be a yellow. I don't know, you can see there's an arm there, and he just... It's not a bad elbow, is it? But his arm definitely comes across Murphy's face and just touches him. Nothing in it. You can't believe it.
Well, despite his disbelief, it is a booking for John McCarthy.
He's shocked, isn't he?
Sean Smith, the only Crewe player to be booked so far, taking this free kick. Flick back was by Jack.
Well, I see Rivers a little bit more involved, Rob, for Crewe. I thought he was a menace first half. Hasn't seen a lot of the ball second.
2 goals in his last 28 games for Mark Rivers after such a good start to the season. Scored 8 in total. Disappointing throw from David Wright. Crewe at the moment keeping Birmingham pegged back. Charnock left it, and he left Smith with quite a bit of work to do, and he did well to get there ahead of McCarthy. Here's Rowett. Jack. Phil Charnock.
Yeah, unlucky, just overhit. Got so many young, up-and-coming youngsters, haven't they? This Crewe side. Danny O'Grady, we said before, he does a great job introducing these youngsters into the side. It's certainly been taught the right way.
No surprise that they always attract a posse of scouts to all of their matches. Right. Cleared by Holdsworth.
Very strong in the midfield area, Crewe. They're young, but they pass well. I think this fella's enjoying himself, Holdsworth. The Birmingham fans are certainly taking to him.
Hughes. Slides Charnock. Charlton's throw. Here's Rivers. Holdsworth. Johnson. Walton. O'Connor. Smith. Johnson didn't really get too much on it, and Poole very quick to come from his line.
It's good goalkeeping, that is.
Here's Rowett. Bradbury. McCarthy. Cleared by Lightfoot and then by Phil Charnock, but McCarthy causing real danger.
He's just looking at Bradbury saying, hey, there's nothing wrong with that, someone get on the end of it.
There's O'Connor. McCarthy. Again, was moving promisingly. It was Johnson this time who stopped him in his tracks.
Birmingham fans behind the goal screaming handball.
Jack. Murphy. Turned away by Gary Rowett. Birmingham could find themselves under more pressure from a Smith throw. Murphy gets it across. David Wright. Michael Johnson. This is Brian Hughes for Birmingham. Charlton. Nice link up with Granger. He's looking for Underlove, the furthest Birmingham player forward. McCarthy is out to his right, but it's fallen for Seth Johnson.
Trevor Francis out of his box there, very unhappy, and the ball's laid up to Unlove.
And Murphy trying to get it through for Rodney Jack, but Holdsworth kept his eye on it.
Clearly upset with it, Trevor. You know, he's basically saying you got to hold it up for us better. It's coming back too easy, and I think Trevor's going to go out. He's had enough, hasn't he? Someone's coming off.
He's got a couple of strikers on the bench.
Trevor knows 1 point's not enough today. He needs 3. They're serious about this second spot.
Here's McCarthy. John McCarthy, who's got into a lot of good positions, only to see his good work go unfinished, has this time run a corner, and we're just past the hour mark.
Johnson at the far post coming up. Holdsworth's in there too.
It's Martin Granger with the corner. And Johnson gets in. And Wright.
His goalkeeper could have helped him out there. I think he could have just said leave it.
And instead they put themselves under more pressure by conceding the throw. Charlton. He's dragged it across towards Undlove. Lightfoot though just steals a march on him. Hughes!
Wow, Cairns clutched one earlier, Rob. This time could take no chances. Hughes sort of slices through the ball, heading for the top corner, and Kearton again, this time flying to his left-hand side, can't take chances, pushes over. Good drive from Brian Hughes. Bit of Birmingham pressure, and the Crewe goalkeeper just helping it over.
McCarthy not picked up from the corner. Rowett.
Tell you what, Rob, glorious chance. I think that's a great chance. I think it comes off his shoulder in the end. Gary Rowett takes a chance, good ball in the box. I think any decent contact, that's a goal.
Well, even without making changes, the sight of the substitutes being called seems to have pepped things up for Birmingham, and consequently Trevor Francis just holding fire at the moment. Looking to see if they can build on this recent momentum. Hughes, whose fizzing shot was too hot for Kit to handle, but he did well to divert it away. Bradbury here just putting pressure on Chris Lightfoot. Smith. Bradbury and McCarthy are hassling and harrying to keep Crewe pegged back, and the pressure's worked. It's McCarthy.
A good goalkeeping. In fact, he's got his centre-half out of a few problems there. He's got him out of jail because that's a little bit casual. Suddenly McCarthy whipping in, looking for unlove. Out comes Curtin.
With the throw for Crewe. Holdsworth. Rowett. David Wright. This is Rivers. Jack.
Referee was just trying to let advantage go there. Jack's frustrated. Johnson snapping away at him. As soon as he loses the ball, referee giving him the free kick. You see Johnson tugging and tugging.
With the free kick for Crewe. Rout missed it, Jack gets it back across.
I think as this game goes on now, Rob, you see Birmingham taking more and more chances, pushing blue shots forward. It's got to be a win.
Hughes.
Yes, I'm Sergeant!
McCarthy drives it in towards Unlove.
Well, the Birmingham fans screaming at the ref. I don't know if they're shouting for a penalty or a corner. The good play from McCarthy. He was talking to Hughes there, telling him where he is, and you can see there's, well, could have came off the big defender. Just wonder if David Wright gets the last touch. The Birmingham fans felt so.
Francis has been involved in prolonged discussions with Steve Robinson. It looks as though a change may not be too far away for Birmingham. David Wright finds Rivers. Wright looking for the return ball. Ranger a solid frame to get past. Still just holding fire on the anticipated change, Birmingham, as David Wright takes the throw for Crewe. Well, a draw's not going to do Trevor Francis's Birmingham too much good in the short term. It'll keep them in fourth position. But he's going to make this substitution now. On will come Steve Robinson, and off goes captain Martin O'Connor, who has been ill in the build-up to this game anyway, and there was a doubt as to whether he'd be named in the starting lineup. So on comes Robinson in his place, one of the survivors of the team before Trevor Francis took over. Robinson actually part of the team that was promoted from the second division. Granger as Walton. Hughes missed it, seemed to drag Johnson down with him. Play goes on.
Right, there's a little bit afters there, but the ref said get on with it. Whip it in again with pace on the ball, and again maybe a slight bobble. Disappointing from Gary Rout now. He's got plenty plenty of time to pick a blue shot out. Leans back, overhits it.
And a reminder of the rest of the action we've got coming up for you this Easter. Premiership action to follow this. Aston Villa against West Ham tonight at 7 o'clock on Sky Sports 1. In Scotland, it's St Johnstone against Rangers. Easter Sunday, 5:30. That's on Sky Sports 1. And next from the Nationwide League at Blundell Park, it's Grimsby against Norwich. Sky Sports 2. Join us from noon on Monday. Halfway through the second half, 0-0. And Gary Rowett with a throw in here for Birmingham. Hughes, Robinson. I would think that Ipswich preparing for their match at Swindon and Bradford preparing to host Grimsby will be quite comfortable with the way this match is positioned.
What did Marcus say at half-time? There's never been an 0-0 draw.
Well, there's very often been quite high-scoring matches between these two teams. Birmingham would be happy with one for now as McCarthy misses that.
He just didn't expect the full-back to miss it.
Quick throw-in taken by McCarthy. Too quick even for his own man Rowett, but not for Seth Johnson, who guides that one away to Murphy. This is Rivers. Jack is now in the penalty area. Murphy just inside. David Wright. Murphy again coming deep. Jermaine Wright. Breaks off Rivers to John McCarthy. Running into Murphy and Johnson, but Bradbury has picked up the threads again. Here's Rowett. Ranger closing in. The cross is blocked by Walton.
Rangers just sneaking in at that far post now. Every time the ball's down the right, Rob, he's making the long runs to try and get on the back stick.
There weren't too many options on then for Bradbury, so he's won the throw, but what can Birmingham make of this? Hughes. Numbered, Rivers gets it away. Robinson. Flags up for offside.
Another head clash there. Granger, brave and honest, but he was out wide, looking along the line, should have been offside. It's a dangerous place to take a knock, right in the side of the head. You see, just looking at the full-back's elbow.
Well, the Crewe have to go to West Brom on Monday as part of their continuing bid for survival in the First Division. Birmingham with a home fixture against Watford in 48 hours' time. Here's John McCarthy. Rowett this time has got free.
It's final ball again, isn't it? See Rowett saying, come across, give me a run across the defender. Seth Johnson was just caught hot in there. Just look for Unlove to come towards him.
McCarthy gets it in. Walton. Charnock. One back by Unlove.
Just a little bit hesitant now, Crewe. You know, Rivers has given a few away, now Charnock.
It's Charlton's cross. City's own man, Brian Hughes, and gone for the goal kick.
No doubt Birmingham are getting in better positions, Rob, but the final ball has not been spot on today. Trevor knows when you get half a yard, killer position, byline, pick a blue shot out. It's not happening too much. Danny will be looking for a little bit more from his young side now.
19 minutes to go, and they have to start gambling for the win. Holdsworth.
See, Birmingham clearly have enough upper hand in the second half.
Rodney Jack. Charnock. This is David Wright to Jermaine Wright. Could link up with Murphy.
Well read by Holdsworth. That's what he does well, Rob. He does read situations well, Holdsworth. Just stepping in there. Seems to be enjoying himself on his debut. Just getting in front of Jack. Jack with a little trip. Stuck in. Good challenge right in the touchline.
Bully!
Rowett. McCarthy. And Bradbury has got inside Walton, who's struggling to get back at him.
10 out of 10 for diving there, I think, from Lee Bradbury. If it had gone down earlier, Rob, if it had gone down earlier, he might have had a better chance. Because Walton got the wrong side of him.
Granger.
Big centre-half hasn't done too much wrong in this match. Just stepping in front of Bradbury, gets caught. I thought just here when he gets in the box, if he'd have gone down there, it might have been interesting. But this is clearly a dive.
Here's Murphy.
Once again, very alert, goalkeeping, playing almost like a sweeper there, back there, Kevin Poole. Trevor Francis must be well aware of Jack's potential, his pace threat.
Crewe keep trying that ploy of the ball down the centre and attempting to get Jack to split in between the two defenders, Holdsworth and Johnson.
Cathy just can't get it right at the moment when the ball's wide on the left. Granger driving the cross in. This time trying to get in front of the defender. It was a cracking ball. If it had stayed out wide, you could have come on to this. Just try to get in front of the full-back. Time for another change, I think. Far side, Trevor.
Forster is the player poised to come on.
Forster's got very, very pacey, had a serious injury. Can he come on and disrupt this Crewe back four?
McCarthy is the man who's coming off. Done a lot of good work, but he'll consider it unfinished business, I'm sure, McCarthy.
Well, he's certainly worked hard, hasn't he, down the right-hand side. Just final balls, maybe letting him down today.
Nicky Forster at one stage, just prior to the deadline, seemed to be on his way to Crystal Palace as part of the Lee Bradbury deal. But that fell through when Bradbury's move became a loan move.
No change in tactics. Forster now just coming out wide on the right where McCarthy, the space is vacated. Still Bradbury and Unlove through the middle.
He's scored 6 goals this season, Nicky Forster, and half of them have been after he's come on as a substitute. We're into the final quarter of an hour. Unlove looking to get away from Walton. Robinson just wanted too much time. Rivers nicks it away from him.
The big Walton, you know, he's got to be careful now. He's trying to win balls in front, and he's just somehow getting on there. You know, he's trying to nick the ball, get in front of Unlove there, and just a little turn using your body weight. Unlove could have been in behind him.
Murphy. Johnson.
Just feel Crewe haven't used Rivers enough in the second half. Certainly, when he gets going, he's very quick, sharp. And just get that ball in behind Charlton in that space. Let him use his pace.
Murphy. Rivers looking for Rodney Jack.
He's getting a little bit frustrated, Jack. He's starting to drift wide now. Rather than play through the middle.
Here's Jack. Off Granger for the corner.
The big boys again, right foot, Walton, heading in the box. These fellas had a sound game.
To bring Walton and Lightfoot forward really, and Murphy and Jack in their front two. They've not really got much height. Sean Smith's corner. Much clear by Paul to Rivers. Forster and doing well to get it across to Lightfoot.
Couldn't get enough on it, could he? He saw under the ball. It was good play from Smith, strong play, using his body strength well, getting a good ball at the far post. Unfortunately, Lightfoot's he's almost under the ball, can't get enough power on it. Trevor Francis might just feel this could be 2 points dropped rather than 1 point gained. I felt this was a must-win situation.
Unlove. Here's Forster.
Again, it's a poor final ball. Unlove had spun into the box. Just needs a bit of quality with his right foot. Look at Unlove getting in there, pointing, go on, just put it in the space. That's disappointing.
Top six at the end of the Easter programme of last season, finished in the top six. Although Sunderland, who were second then, didn't stay there, and it was Middlesbrough in fourth place who eventually got promoted as runners-up to Nottingham Forest. Can Birmingham, from their position of fourth, make the top two? Certainly they'll be losing ground if they don't pick up 3 points here. It's trouble for them with Murphy.
So that's good defending from Charlton. The corner's been given, but Charlton just bites his time here, saying, go on then, Danny Murphy, go on then. But Charlton holds his ground well, and it's a good challenge. There's no arguments about was it a corner or not, but Charlton didn't dive in, he just waited, and I think his presence was enough to put Murphy off.
Walton forward for the corner. Lightfoot's in the 6-yard box too. Round the back to Rodney Jack, and Ranger taking no chances. Knocks it behind for another.
Jack was just looking at the far post, wasn't he? Couldn't pick anyone out. Try and just knock it back, hoping to feel for a red shirt. Granger to the rescue.
Worked tirelessly throughout this contest. It would be a good time to score in the last 10 minutes. We have possibilities here from the corner, taken by Smith. Granger is the man who meets it.
He's done well there today, Granger, hasn't he? Won a lot of aerial battles.
Danny Murphy's throw. Play from Seth Johnson, and he's got past Hughes. He's won another corner.
I'm not going to say it again, but really the killer ball, the killer pass, because this is great skills. Beautiful. Just gets it on his left feet. He's good foot. Just pick someone out. Can't do it.
Jack pulling it back, and Jermaine Wright this time lifts it over.
Well, Birmingham just fallen asleep a little bit here, because Rodney Jack just a few moments ago was all alone at the far post. Once again, there he is, just laid back, can't control the strike. Well, can't be any more level than that. We said at half-time 50-50. Look at that, Birmingham 5 on target. Don't forget Crewe have hit the post twice.
He's had to make a couple of good saves to deny Birmingham.
Trevor, he's got to be a wee bit careful over there. Look, here goes the linesman, here comes his mate again.
Maybe the pressures of the promotion bid just starting to tell, and Dave Pugh has gone over to have a word with him.
Whatever I doubt it is, he's just saying that, sorry ref, right? No problem, sorry. But you're right, Robert, his frustration now, he's desperate for a win.
Here's Rodney Jack. Well, the anxiety will be growing because it's Crewe who seem to be gaining in strength.
Now, once again, very, very level, but who's going to sneak one? Are we going to see a goal here?
David Wright.
Sure, fans of both Bradford and Ipswich are enjoying this. Maybe not the Birmingham fans at home.
Bradbury. Granger. This is Simon Charlton. Robinson. Charlton again.
He's disappointing a little bit unloved at the moment, the second half, because I think Walton is doing really well against him. He showed for the ball there, but Walton reacted the quicker.
Robinson. Cross from Granger. Trevor Francis has one final card to play, and he looks as though he's going to play it. It's Howard Forrington who's the last substitute who will be coming on. Lee Bradbury is the man who's making way for Forrington, who was one of the players that Trevor Francis signed as a result of his association with former Rangers colleague Graham Roberts. He and Jerry Gill came in from Yeovil together. Forrington won rave reviews for his appearances at Plymouth, where he actually scored his first league goals. Work from Danny Murphy. It's Walton.
I thought maybe the boys in the studio would be thinking about Walton for man of the match, Rob. He's been excellent.
New customer to deal with now in Forrington. Lightfoot gets it away. A straight change. Forrington for Bradbury. Forster staying out on the right, where he replaced John McCarthy. This is Seth Johnson. Charlton. Charnock.
See the urgency in Birmingham's game now. Desperate to get it forward.
Rowett. Johnson. Foul on Rodney Jack. The referee just waited a moment to see if there was an advantage, but awards the free kick.
I have to say it's a precious point. If it stays 0-0, it's a precious point for Crewe.
Puts them a point behind Port Vale, the team immediately above them, who've got a crucial relegation six-pointer at Bristol City tomorrow. It's Sean Smith here with a free kick. Dave Pugh just saw some pushing there by Lightfoot.
Love now playing over almost on this right wing now. Now Forster gone over through the middle with Thorrington. Just try and change it up.
Murphy. Just one clean sheet in 16 matches before this for Crewe. That was from a goalless draw against Grimsby. It was offside anyway. Here's Forster. And Granger's cross. Unlove.
Well, the Birmingham fans are...
Hughes. Cleared by Lightfoot. Hughes again. Birmingham looking to lay siege to the Crewe goal in the last 2 minutes as Rowett delivers. Unlove misses, and Granger strikes.
Oh, what a chance. What a chance. Lightfoot gets in the way and it just kindly goes back into Curtin's hands. Good ball this time from Rowett. I thought Unlove had a chance there, he missed it. The ball falls to Granger, blasts with the left foot, off Lightfoot and into the keeper.
Murphy. Rivers gets to it, but Johnson's there ahead of Jack. Thorrington. Not too many occasions when we have a goalkeeper as man of the match, but Jason Kearton in the Crewe goal has dealt well so far. Forster! And yet again he deals with something that's been thrown at him, so nationwide man of the match, Crewe's goalkeeper Jason Kearton.
Well, his handling's been excellent, hasn't it? Again, the stick, you know, he's not spilling too many. Every time he's been called upon, he's dealt with great.
Rowett. Unlove. Robinson. Header crossed by Granger, cleared by Walton. He's also been a rock-solid influence at the back. Charlton. Granger. His footing well. Lightfoot dealt with him well.
Just slipped at vital twice there, slipping at vital moments.
Only 1 minute of stoppage time to be added on. Walton. Here's Jack. Well, he's turning on the style again, even at this late stage of the game. Can he shake off Johnson? Broke off for Granger. Hughes' clearance doesn't get away, and it's Jack blocked by Johnson.
Yeah, good stuff again from Michael Johnson. I thought Jack was just going to sling it in the box, but Murphy was the only Crewe player in there.
Charnock. Jermaine Wright. Desperate for the win, but it looks as though the clock may well beat them. And Birmingham City have lost further ground on the 3 clubs above them, and the playoffs may well now be the best route for Trevor Francis's team to secure Premiership football next season. They've earned a point against a very hard-working Crewe team. Dario Gradi, Francis's opposite number, will be delighted with a clean sheet. Although again, it doesn't affect their position as they stay one off the bottom of the table, having hit the post twice in the first half. But it was their goalkeeper Jason Kearton who was man of the match for some vital saves in the second. Crewe 0, Birmingham 0.
Well, the second 45 didn't quite live up to the first half, but a point apiece. We shall see how that affects the two sides in a moment. Don't forget, plenty more live action coming up this Easter weekend here on Sky Sports. Tonight it's Aston Villa against West Ham. That's over on Sky Sports 1. Scottish football Sunday, Sky Sports 1. St Johnstone against Rangers. We're back on Monday. Note the time, midday for Grimsby against Norwich. The kickoff is 12:15. And then Monday night it's Newcastle against Spurs from St James's Park, and that is from 7 o'clock on Sky Sports 1. OK, let's have a look at the First Division table. As a result of the goal of straw at Gresty Road, Crewe stays second bottom with 34 points now from 39 games, so 2 points short of safety. But they have played a game more than Bury, I should say. They've scored a lot more goals than Bury, which could yet prove significant. Up top, Birmingham started the day in 4th. And they stay there. 69 points from 39, 5 clear of Bolton, 1 behind Bradford, who've played a game less, and 4 behind Ipswich, who've played a game less. OK, let's hear from Seth Johnson of Crewe. He's talking to Alan Bentley.
Seth, generally, do you think you're happy with the point?
Yeah, overall, yeah, I think so. We played well in spells. You know, we created quite a few good chances. Hit the woodwork a couple of times. We limited them to only a couple of chances at the most. So I suppose we're disappointed to get the 3 points, but we'll be happy with a point.
And quickly, we can just ask you. Dario Gradi said in the programme that you were devastated when you heard that they'd accepted a bid from Derby for you. Why was that?
I wasn't devastated. I was just I wasn't expecting it, to be honest. I didn't think the club would sell me at this point, and I just thought they'd keep me to the end of the season. So I wasn't devastated, but I was a bit surprised by it, really.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Right, cheers.
He wants to save Crewe. I've got to say the one thing that Ray, Nigel and myself said before the programme was that it wouldn't be a goal of straw this afternoon. So, of course,
you said that.
And you agree with me, to be honest, didn't you?
We said Birmingham will win.